Sneak attack style deck in standard? A deck made by the man with the greatest beard in Magic? I'm interested.
But Joel, doesn't that rotate soon?
But I want to make the video.
But isn't the metagame oppressive?
I'm sure it'll be okay, guys. Nothing could possibly go wrong enough to make me want to change this.
Alright, no more standard till rotation.
Hello, cuckoos. Sorry it took so long to make a new deck video. I was starting with a different deck, and after I'd taken a lot of video for it, I decided that with all the losses I was having, it wasn't exactly great content, not something to make a video about at this point with it rotating out. So, instead, I found myself a historic deck I thought I might like. So the deck I started with was from Jeff Hoagland's tournament, Hoaglandia Open 5, and I thought I would just test it, see what it looked like, and then I would, you know, tweak it as need be. So, in the deck list we ended up playing for the entire time I was testing out this deck. We were playing a set of 12 creatures, which, not a lot. We're playing removal in the form of 3 cards. We're playing Shock, we're playing Lightning Axe, and we're playing Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. These 3 cards are able to take out small, medium to large creatures depending on the part of the game you're at. We've got lots of cantrips, both in red and in blue. We've got Crash Through, we've got Opt. In the 2-mana spot, we have things like Charter Course and Strategic Planning. Radical Idea is good. 1 Chemister's Insight. Mana base is pretty simple. We're playing Steam Vents, we're playing Sulphur Falls, and then we're playing 1 Castle Vantress, as well as just islands and mountains, nothing fancy. So breakdowns of different matchups. Mono Black, I don't think I ever had an issue playing against Mono Black with this deck. You're able to knock off their early plays with your removal cards and then move into a beatdown really quickly. Mono White was an issue sometimes. If we did not kill their specific cards that helped them go off in the early game with our removal spells, we would end up just getting trampled with lifelink. I would do more than 20 damage, but it wouldn't matter. They had so much lifelink that they're already at 30 life. They're at 20 life back again. It doesn't matter. You can't get through enough and deal with enough of these threats. Control decks. It was about a 50-50. I think I won 4 games against Control versus 4 games that I lost to them. A lot of the times it just had to do with what part of their deck they had. If they had counter spells is one thing. If they had all of their removal, then you're stuck in a worse place. And the worst option of all is they could just have bounce spells, which pop your Phoenixes and other things back into your hand, making them clunky and difficult to use. Ramp decks. I had issues with them. The best thing is, once again, to just get rid of those early good creatures like Elvish Mystic and the like for those ramp decks, because if you can just slow them down enough to knock them out, they play their big threat, it's okay. You're already knocking them down to 6 life. Finish them off with your Phoenixes. However, if they're able to prolong you, or you don't have that interactive early hand, then you oftentimes will see them just ramp into impossible things. Ugin is just so bad for us. We don't want to play against Ugin. If they ramp into it fast enough, you have to scoop your cards. There's nothing you can do. Minusing to exile our Phoenixes? Exile our Phoenixes? What are we going to be doing? We can't do anything. We're done. Also, ramp decks. Uro is the worst for us. Goblins. We had about a 75% win rate against the deck. I think we ended up playing it like 6 times. And the times that we won were because we had enough interaction mixed with a fast enough clock to get there. The times we lost were because they hit Muxus. Yeah, that's it. Mono blue tempo, it just depends. Do you kill the early creatures or not? If you're on the play and you can pop off that first blue creature before they have counter magic up. Elves. The main thing with elves was the fact that they have such redundancy. Their cards draw cards, their creatures are all pretty similar in the things that they do. They have multiple lords, they have multiple mana creatures. Also, Coco hurts. Don't let a Coco resolve. It's sort of like letting a Muxus resolve in a way. I think my MVP was probably Strategic Planning. Shock was knocking off early game pieces all the time. Definitely one of my favorite cards in this deck right now. Just being able to kill the Elvish Mystic, or the Skirk Prospector, the early blue creature in mono blue tempo, or even getting rid of a Risen Reef. You know, this card can do so much for you in the early game that allows you to open up the next few turns. Biggest problem was probably Crackling Drake. The Drake would come out and then immediately be removed. You would spend 4 mana hoping to get a big player and then usually just have it gone, or in fact not even matter because you get Muxist on the next turn. I love the deck a lot though, because it's one of those decks where you're doing combo-esque things but in a more fair way. You don't have to have a big turn just to win with your Phoenixes coming out of the grave. You could build up with goblins and take out key pieces of the opponent's plan with your shocks, with your blitzes, and then eventually just beat them down with the couple of creatures you have. And then other times you're able to just get multiple Phoenixes out, maybe your Goblin Electromancer can hit, and then boom, you win the game. It's great. I was interested because I thought this deck had a huge hole in mid to late game play if you had to drag the game out. I came to realize something very frustrating about Historic that I don't exactly like with these styles of decks. Games don't last that long. A lot of these games you're playing against fast decks, you're playing against mono white, you're playing against goblins, you're playing against mono blue tempo, and a lot of those situations I was in, I would die very quickly. I feel like the deck needs something else in the way of pressure. I think my win rate at the end of the day with this was something like 75%, but I'll probably be going back to my homebrew junk soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and if you found it helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe. I make new content about every week, and I'm also on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Some in the morning, some at night. Also, I have an Instagram and a Twitter if you'd like to check those out for more content. And if you have any deck suggestions, I would love to see them in the comments. I'm looking for good decks, I'm looking for bad decks, I'm looking for interesting decks. Just put them all in the comments. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, cuckoos.